Good afternoon. Made it back just in time. Yeah, Akwaaba, my name is Mark. If you're not joining before, and you're welcome to another session this Sunday. I was out on the bike earlier, so yeah, going to be focusing on a yoga sesh that brings some, focusing on the breath as always, but really stretching out the muscles. Useful if you're a cyclist, if you're a runner, or D-man if you're if you like your skipping. That's what you got. Yeah, or had to go in with the Shaolin with the Wu Tang for Uncle Bobby and his little boy. That's a little side comment to D Man. But yeah, let's get cracking. We're gonna start in Balasana in our child's pose. Yeah, go at your own pace. If you've got any injuries, just be mindful, listen to your body. And let's really use the next 20 or so minutes just to connect with our breath. Let's come into our child's pose. It's been good to be back on the mat and practicing again with you guys. So feet together, knees apart. Just bring the bum down to the heels as close as you can. You place the hands on the thighs and slowly start to put the hands forward. As you lengthen the arms along the mat, bring your forehead as close as you can to the mat. If it's not quite reaching, it doesn't have to reach. Feel free to place a block underneath the forehead and it's just come to stillness. Let's become aware of our chest, maybe pressing against our thighs. If there's any discomfort in the hips here or it's a bit tight on the knees, you can put a towel just in between the calves and the hamstrings, or just push up slightly. Lifting the bottom of the heels just to ease the pressure. Just take whichever variation is good for you. Let's start to come into the breath. As we inhale in through the nose, we're coming into our Ujjayi. Let's start by just exhaling out through the mouth. For this, we're fogging up the window on a cold winter. Start to exaggerate the breath out through the mouth. Deep inhale in all the way to the belly. Exhale out through the mouth. Just keep that going. This time on the next round, let's start to close the lips and exhale out through the nose. So we're creating a whisper-like sound in the room as we come into our Ujjayi breath. This breath is going to guide us through the practice today. Deep inhale all the way to the belly. And use a diaphragm as you exhale out through the nose. Let's start to lift the bum up off the heels. Let's start to come to a gentle stretch through the front of the chest. We're going to walk the hands forwards. See if we start to bring the chest a bit closer towards the mat. Maybe bring your forehead down. So pinching in between the shoulders and open up through the front of the body. Slowly start to walk the hands back up. I'm going to turn and face the camera. I'm going to stretch out through the sides of the body here. Let's take a deep inhale in as we float the arms up towards the ceiling. On exhale, bring the left hand down. Start to bring the right arm up and over. Maybe take a slight bend in that left elbow. So we're stretching out through the right side of the body, stretching out through those muscles in between the ribs. Start to float the arm forwards. Place the right hand down to the opposite side. Start to bend into the right elbow. Lift up through the left arm. So going up and over rather than just collapsing down. We're focusing on the stretch through the left side of the body. Deep inhale in. Exhale to stretch. And let's swap sides once again. Let's bring that left arm down around the front of the mat. Right side again. Right arm goes up and over. Just bring the left ear towards the left shoulder. On the next exhale, let's take the opposite side. Right arm comes down, left arm goes up. So maintain our Ujjayi breath here. Let's bring our left arm back down. Going to float the arms back up towards the ceiling. Deep inhale in. Take a gaze between the hands towards the ceiling. On the exhale, let's bring the hands down. Interlace the hands behind the back. Deep inhale in as we start to lift the chest up as you bring the hands down. Maybe drop the neck back. Draw the belly towards the spine. And on the exhale, start to release out. Place the hands on the thighs. Deep breath in. Raise the arms up towards the ceiling. This time I'm going to interlace the hands behind the back of the head. On the next breath, we're going to open up the chest towards the ceiling. Bring the elbows away from each other. Pinching in between the shoulder blades. Deep breath in. And on the exhale, we're taking a gaze front and center towards down towards the thighs. And we're not just dropping our head down. Try and stay nice and tall in the spine. And just use the interlace of the hands to press the head into the hands as we come into a stretch through the back of the neck, drawing the elbows together. You don't need to touch the elbows. Chin to the chest. For 2. For 1. On the inhale, let's open up the elbows, take the chest up towards the ceiling. This time we're coming into cactus arms. So again, we're pinching in between the shoulder blades. Find a space for the front of the body. And exhale to release. Bring the hands back down towards the thighs. So a really nice stretch to do when we find ourselves on our laptops or on our phone so much. We're always hunching the shoulders. It's always good to open up through the front of the body. Let's turn and face the front of the mat if you're not there already. Coming into our tabletop, we're going to curl the toes under, press our hands into the mat, lift up the tailbone as we come into our first downward facing dog. From here, just walking out through each leg, stretching out through the calf muscles, lifting one heel at a time. Let's come up high on the toes and then energetically draw the heels down towards the mat. Start to press the hands into the floor, lifting out through the arms, the tailbone goes high. On the next breath, let's lift that right leg so it's parallel with the floor. On the exhale, we're drawing the knee all the way through the body. Placing the right foot just inside of the right hand. Let's drop down onto that left knee, uncurl the left toes. Come into a low lunge. Once you feel nice and grounded through that right foot, start to peel the chest away from the right thigh as we come into a stretch through the left hips. Maybe we want to float the arms up towards the ceiling once again. The arms to either side of the ears. Nice and long in the torso, engage through the core. That transverse abdominis. Slowly start to bend into that right knee as we bring that left hip a bit closer towards the mats. For 2. For 1. On the exhale, start to lift up onto that right heel. Curling the right toes towards the face. Bringing the bum so it's just floating above the left knee. With the hands on the mats. Or a block or a tall book if you're not quite reaching. Like myself, let's start to walk the hands forward. Again, curling the right toes towards the face. So we're coming into a stretch into the right hamstring for 2. For 1. Let's come back into that bend, into that right knee. I'm going to swing that right leg back to come back into our tabletop and press our hands into the floor, lift up the knees, downward facing dog. Deep breath in and exhale out.
coming into the opposite side. So we're lifting that left leg so it's parallel to the floor. And on the exhale, flow to the left knee all the way through, place on the left hand, the left foot on the inside of the left hand, drop down onto that right knee, uncurl the right toes. So you've got a right angle bend in that left knee. Once you feel stable, let's start to peel the chest away from the left thigh. Again, we're trying to stay nice and tall with our torso. Maybe float the arms up. Breaks any wobbles or shakes. Deep inhale in. And on the exhale, just slowly bend into that left knee. One more deep breath in. Soften into that left knee. Let's bring the hands down towards the front of the mat. Slowly start to walk the hands back as we lengthen that through that left leg. Curling the left toes towards the face or high on the left heels. As we come into a stretch into the left hamstring. Deep breath in, nice and long in the back here. And exhale, we're just energetically drawing our chest towards the left shin. For 2. For 1. Let's come back into that bend. Walk the hands forward. I'm going to swing that left foot back to meet the right. So we meet together now, tabletop. Let's curl the toes under once again. Lift up, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. And exhale out. Start to lean the body forwards. So coming into our high plank, Kumbhakasana. You might need to shuffle the feet back a little bit. So in our high plank, high in the toes, our heels are pressing towards the back of the room. We're engaging through our core. Start to bend into the elbows to come down all the way to the mat. Bring your chest down and curl the toes. We're going to place our elbows underneath our shoulders. The forearms and the palms are flat on the mat. On the inhale, let's bring the chest through the arms. Rolling the shoulders back, take the gaze forward. And on the exhale, start to release back down towards the mat. Let's take the hands as we come down. Place the hands underneath the shoulders. This time I'm going to come into an upward facing dog. So tucking the elbows in towards the ribs, pressing the hands into the floor. Maybe lengthen up through the arms here. Shine the chest through the arms. Maybe take the gaze up towards the front diagonal. Exhale, curl the toes under. Downward facing dog. Deep breath in together. And exhale out. At any point, I invite you to come into a resting pose, whatever that might be for you. You might be standing in Tadasana, might be coming into Balasana. Just listen to your body. I'm going to come into the half pigeon. So on the inhale, I'm going to lift the leg, the right leg, so it's parallel to the floor. I'll take it up towards the back diagonal. On the exhale, float the knee through the body. And take the right knee towards the back of the right wrist. Bring the right shin down, maybe at a 45-degree angle. Just use the left toes to walk the left leg back. So we can explore space in our hips here. Once you've found your edge, uncurl the left toes. So bring the back foot so it's flat on the mat. Maybe stay up. Staying upright. Just be mindful of your right knee here, not to come into a place which causes pain. Aim to find a stretch into the hips. And the left hip flexor. Invite you either to stay up or just walk the hands forward. Start to bring your chest down towards the floor. Again, your forehead doesn't need to reach. Maybe create a pillow. And just place your forehead in your hands. Now, hopefully there's no pain here. You might feel a sense of maybe mild discomfort, if I can say that. It might feel a bit strange. As long as there's no pain, just breathe into the area of the stretch. So it might be on the inside of the right hip. It might be in the left hip flexor. You find that the longer you're staying here in half pigeon, where you're not experiencing pain, then you start to find a really nice release in the hips. If you're watching some playback, feel free to hit pause or just stay in this asana for a few more breaths. Otherwise, I'm going to press our hands into the floor. Just drop down onto the right butt cheek. I'm going to float that left foot, or bring that left foot forward towards the front of the mat. Sit down on our bums. We're aiming to take the right sole of the foot, place it maybe on the inside of the left knee, the left shin, maybe the inside of the left thigh. I'm going to come into a twist, so let's lift up through the right hand, place the right hand behind us. Again, if you're not quite reaching, always feel free to use a block. Let's lift up through that left hand, and on the exhale, place the left hand on top of the right knee. Inhale to sit up tall, exhale to come into the twist. So using the resistance of the left hand against the top of the knee, just a twist from the lower belly, twist from the belly even. Is there a lower belly? Deep inhale in, and twisting from the hips. Deep breath in, and twist. Now the right hand down on the mat, and then lift up again through that left hand. Start to turn the body over towards the right side of the room, bringing the left toes down. Start to lift the bum up off the floor and then shine the chest up towards the ceiling. So the left hand is coming towards the left diagonal, taking the weight into the right hand for 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. On the exhale, bring the bum back down. Any which way, let's come back into our tabletop. Going to press our hands into the mat, curl the toes under, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. And exhale out. Let's take the opposite side. So come high on the left toe, on the right toes even maybe. Lifting the right heel up. Again, lift that left leg. So it's parallel with the floor. Maybe out towards the left, the top diagonal. And on the exhale, bend into that knee, floating the knee through the body. Just placing it just on the outside of the left wrist. The left shin comes down, so it's maybe at a 45-degree angle. And again, just use the right toes to walk that right leg back towards the back of the room. Once you've found your space and your edge, uncurl the right toes. Bring the right toe so it's flat on the mat again. Either stay up high on the hands, bring the chest through the arms, nice long in the neck. I'll invite you to walk the hands forward, bring your chest down, maybe create a pillow, and bring the forehead down. So again, feel free to make any adjustments here. You're aiming to take the knee so it's just beyond the left wrist, so more close towards the outside of the left side of the mat. Avoiding putting pressure or weight on your knee. Come into a stretch through the right hip flexor. For 2. For 1. Again, I invite you Stay in this variation of half pigeon. Oh, let's press our hands into the floor. Let's drop onto the left butt cheek and let's swing that right leg forwards. It doesn't have to be graceful. Let's bring our right leg so it's flat on the floor, flat on the mat. This time you're taking the left sole of the foot and placing it either on the inside of the left calf, maybe the left knee, or inside of the, let's say left knee, the right knee, inside of the right thigh. The left knee doesn't need to touch the floor. You might find it's riding high. Feel free to place a block if that's the case underneath the left knee. Take the left hand so it's behind the body. Sit up nice and tall. Float the right arm up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, bringing that right hand on top of the left knee. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale to come into the twist. So give a twist into the lower belly here. Inhale, sit up. Exhale to twist. Inhale. Exhale. Start to release into the twist. Placing or take the weight into the left hand. I'm going to float the right arm back out towards the ceiling. Start to twist the body over towards the left side of the room. Bringing the right toes towards the mat. We're shining the chest up towards the ceiling. Taking the right arm back towards the back diagonal. For 2. For 1. And release. Just lengthen out the legs, so both legs are out in front of the body here. Just give the legs a shake on the mat. Just use your hands to bring them into a fist and just start to massage out through the tops of the thighs. Bend from the hips as we start to lean the body forward. Curl the toes towards the face. Let's take the hands either side of either the right and left thigh, or on the outside of the knees, outside of the calves, or maybe on the underside of the feet. Again, whichever variation works today. Deep inhale in and exhale to bend from the hips. So we're energetically drawing our chest towards our shins here. Nice long in the back, so we're really feeling the stretch at the back of the legs. Whichever variation we start to release out. Take a bend into the knees, so the knees are pointing up towards the ceiling. Take the arms either side of the legs, engaging through the core. See if you can keep your feet flat on the mat for as long as possible, and slowly start to bring the back down towards the mat. Embrace any shakes and relax. Bring the head down. I'm going to come to Supta Baddha Konasana, feet together, knees apart, right hand on the belly, left hand on the heart. Take a deep inhale in through the nose here, and sigh it out through the mouth. Right, to close your eyes, either lengthen out through the legs, or maybe let this be your variation of Shavasana today. Releasing our Ujjayi and come back into our natural breath. Just keep your eyes closed. Just use this moment to embrace stillness, become aware of our natural breath, and relax. Okay, now I invite you to stay in Shavasana. Otherwise, if your legs are long across the mat or your Supta Baddha Konasana, let's start to bring the knees into the chest for one final hug in. Draw the knees in. Maybe bring the head up towards the knees as we start to find a stretch for our lower back. We're lengthening out for our lower back here. So we come into a tiny ball. On the inhale, I'm going to rock up. Exhale, rock back. Inhale, rock up. Exhale, rock back. On the next inhale, I'm going to rock up and come into a seated position, or come kneeling, or Vinyasa. Again, whichever might be comfortable for you today. So roll the shoulders back. Place your hands into your laps. Take one final deep breath in, all the way to the belly. Breathe, 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 breathe. And relax. Slowly exhale. Your eyes are closed, so I invite you to blink them open. Thank you very much. Yes, it's been good to be on the mat with you today. And again, if you're watching on playback, I hope you enjoyed this session. Feel free to take a pause at certain points, maybe for going into half pigeon or take an extended shavasana. Really just use the time on the mat to reward yourself and get rid of any noise, any issues that might be causing you any stresses. Just let this be your island, your place of comfort. And have a great week. That's me done and dusted. Back again next week, Sunday. Once again, thanks to anyone that tuned in the live, D-Man. Yeah, I had a really good bike session today. Your legs felt good, which was a pleasant surprise. It's been a summer off. Good to see you again. Walk and talk with Queen P. But yeah, take care, guys, and see you back on the mat. Have a great week, and speak to you soon. In a bit.